Hey guys, so it's late, but I have some thoughts that are brewing. And as I was watching that show, there's a big, I don't know, idea that it brought to my attention. And so in the show, there was that recurring topic about how darkness or evil uses your own weaknesses to confront you. So basically, it's kind of like your own darkness, you know, that it scares you with. And so, like I said, in this show, is this African American family that moves into this house. So they face physical trials with racism, and they also face like demonic, like spiritual attacks or whatever from this house. And I noticed that one of the things that the husband was faced with was this character um, that presented itself to him that would taunt him and say, like, basically that you're not good enough because you haven't suffered how your people have suffered. So this family was moving to California, to Compton. He wanted his family to have a better life, to get away from the South. And, you know, he was an engineer, so he had a very good education and he had a good job for an African American man at that time. And like he was the only African American working in his engineering department, right? So it's like you're facing two battles. You're facing the battle of your coworkers and the Caucasian people that were racist, just making you feel like you were never good enough. Like they have to just keep you right. Like don't think you're too good now, because you know, because I can fire you, or you know what I mean. Like you're here, but don't think you're all that because of it, you know. And then they're also facing, I think, their own people, or maybe his own ideas to or pressures that like he's being all haughty, like he hasn't suffered enough, like like his like the people before him, you know what I mean? Like he never went through slavery. He never had to work in the fields in the hot sun. It's almost like a guilt for um I don't know, for like doing better or something like that in life, or I can't, something to that effect, or wanting better. um oh, like look at you, like you're moving, you're in the living in the uppity, white neighborhood, and I think that kept taunting him. That was one of the things. um so it's really like quite a like internal battle as well, and like fighting all these ideals around you that are trying to tell you like who you're supposed to be, right? Like, you have to remember where you came from, right? You kind of have to like pay homage to where you came from or who in your culture or race came before you and like what they suffered, right? Like, you have to not forget that and allow that to continue to have meaning in your life is like the message that I was getting from this show, you know? And I think a lot of cultures are like that, like, especially like Hispanic people. I really like that too. Like, you know, like if you're Puerto Rican, like I've mentioned before in my videos, and like you don't really speak Spanish, you don't like get down with a lot of Puerto Rican stuff, you don't like keep your culture or where you came from, like your family line in mind, then you're like you're criticized for that, you know what I mean? And maybe that's part of the problem. I don't know if people letting go, like, I don't want to talk about like letting go of talking about racism because I know that's a really like, I don't know, it's like a really intense topic. But like on an individual level, like what if we did? Like, what if we did just let go? What if we did just not care about where we came from or who came before us? Not in a disrespectful way, but just, I don't know, to embody our own self and what we care about and what we want to do, and let all of the other stuff just fall away, you know? But like, people just see things through the lenses that they want to see things through, you know? Like, if parts of my family, you know, met me and my kids, they might be like, they might want to test them to see like how Puerto Rican they are. And they might be like, well, oh, these guys are just white, you know, and say it in a derogatory way, you know what I mean? Which is racist too, I think, in my opinion, you know? Um, is it really about any of that stuff? You know what I mean? Is it really about holding on to culture? Like, everybody must hold on to these ideals? Not in my opinion. Not if those ideals aren't important to the actual individual, you know? And I feel like, what if an African American person didn't really care or like give much thought to racism, or, you know, would they be criticized by their culture? You know what I'm saying? By their families? Um, you know, just people think in these ways, and I think that it can go across the board, you know. Anyways, I just wanted to say that because that was one of the things in the show that taunted this man. And really, it was his own self. It was his own self. It was one of his own thoughts. All right, that's it.